Khan, all praises to the Most High. This video is the importance of giving alms. Gonna go into depth of what is alms, what does it mean, who should we give alms to, Khan, and what do we receive for giving alms, Khan, correctly? Because if you don't give correctly, it's not labeled as giving alms. All praises. So if you can look up the definition of alms, it's just being charitable to the poor. The main definition of giving alms is being charitable to the poor. So I'm gonna go ahead and start off with what does alm do? What does alm do? I'm gonna go to the Apocrypha, Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus. What does alms do? Start with Ecclesiasticus chapter 3 and verse 30. This is chapter 3 and verse 30. It says, water will quench a flaming fire, and alms maketh an atonement for sins. Water will quench a flaming fire, and alms maketh an atonement for sins. So this must be a very important topic that we must talk about. I'd also like to get 1 Peter 4 and 8. 1 Peter 4 and 8. It says, and above all things, let me go ahead and hide that for you guys. And above all things, have fervent charity among yourselves, for charity shall cover the multitudes of sins. For charity shall cover the multitude of sins. So we got Sirach 3 and 30 and 1 Peter 4 and 8 starting off as to giving alms and what does it do. So we know it make an atonement for sins, as if the example that they gave in Sirach 3 and 30 of a water quenching fire. And we see for charity shall cover the multitude of sins. So I like to start in the Torah. We're going to go to Exodus 23. We'll start with Exodus 23 in verse 10. Let me go ahead and highlight that. Exodus chapter 23, verse 10 as well as 11. In 6 years thou shalt sow thy land, and shalt gather in the fruits thereof. But the 7th year thou shalt let it rest and lie still, that the poor of thy people may eat, and what they leave the beasts of the field shall eat. In like manner thou shalt deal with thy vineyard and with thy olive yard. So we're mentioning the poor right here. This is talking basically about the land rest for the poor, for the land every 7 years. And it says that the poor of thy people may eat. So the Most High includes that the poor may eat. All right, we also going to go to Leviticus 19 and verse 9. This is all going to neck pretty soon. All praises. Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 9, as well as verse 10. And when ye reap the harvest of your land, thou shalt not wholly reap the corners of thy field, neither shalt thou gather the gleanings of thy harvest, and thou shalt not glean thy vineyard, neither shalt thou gather every grape of thy vineyard, thou shalt leave them for the poor and stranger. I am the Lord your God. Another account on leaving things for the poor, leaving a remnant for the poor, not to be greedy, not to gather up the gleanings, the full gleanings of thy harvest, but to allow a certain portion to be left for the poor and for the stranger. I am the Lord your Yahweh. We also going to go to Deuteronomy 15 and 7 through 11. That's Deuteronomy chapter 15, verse 7 through 11. 11. Come on. If there be among you a poor man of one of thy brethren within any of thy gates in thy land, which the Lord thy Yahweh giveth thee, thou shalt not harden thy heart, nor shut thine hand from thy poor brother. So the Most High, he has a thing for the poor. The Most High loves the poor. Come on. Verse 8. But thou shalt open thine hand wide unto him, and shalt surely lend him sufficient for his need, in that which he wanted. Verse 9. Beware that there be not a thought in thy wicked heart, saying the 7th year, the year of release, is at hand, and thine eye be evil against thy poor brother, and thou givest him not, and he cry unto the Lord against thee, and it shall be sin unto thee. Thou shalt surely give him, and thine heart shall not be grieved, when thou givest unto him, because that for this thing the Lord thy Yahweh shall bless thee in all thy works, and in all that thou puttest thine hand unto. For the poor shall never cease out of the land. Therefore I command thee, saying, Thou shalt open thine hand wide unto thy brother, to thy poor, and to thy needy in thy land. And to the needy in thy land. So we got a few accounts in Exodus 23, Leviticus 19, and as well as Deuteronomy 15. All talking about the poor. Exodus 23 is talking about the land rest of the and including the poor. Leviticus 19 is talking about the gathering of the gleanings of the harvest and leaving it for the poor. Deuteronomy 15 is going more into depth about the 7th year release. So every 7 years, you should have a release of anything that someone owed to you. You shouldn't have that grudge, or you shouldn't require that things after 7 years. And it says that when we go back to, I think it was verse 7. Let's reread that for a second. If there be among you a poor man of one of thy brethren within any of thy gates in thy hand, which the Lord thy Yahweh giveth thee, thou shalt not harden thine heart, nor shut thy hand from thy poor brother, but thou shalt open thy hand wide unto him, and shalt surely lend him sufficient for his need in which he wanted. So even when you're close by the 7th year, don't be thinking in your heart, and don't be so covetous of what you have, but give it to that poor man, for it will become your righteous deed. As we jump down to verse 10, because that for this thing that the Lord thy Yahweh shall bless thee in all thy works, and in all that thou puttest thine hand unto. Because when you give to the poor, you typically don't receive anything back. You giving to the poor, you giving that from your heart, and you putting in all that thou puttest thine hand into, you will be blessed in all thy works. All praises. All right, so that's just 3 short accounts within the Torah, including the poor, and giving charitable goods, and including the poor within the land rest, and when you gather up all your gleanings of your harvest, as well as we're going to find in who to give these alms to. We're going to find that in Tobit, in the Apocrypha. Because a lot of times, we may get we may just give to anybody. I saw a guy, he had a darn I need weed sign. That's folly, man. I wouldn't really consider you giving him money and he's saying he needs weed and he's breakdancing in the street. Or if you see that old homeless person and you know why they're homeless, you know that they're on drugs, you're not asking them any questions, you're not examining before you give it. Right? You may be catching your own self in a snare, and maybe high key giving that person those particular needs as far as money to make them more worse on their drug, because they got a darn drug addiction, or they may be a alcoholic, right? Not all these stories that these people may give you, they may be, oh, well, I have family down here and they passed, or I just got out of jail not too long ago and my family don't really mess with me like that. So you got to examine, you got to be careful when you're giving as well. So we're going to see who we must give to in Tobit. We're going to start at Tobit chapter 4 and verse 7. Verse 7 and verse 8. Come on. It says, verse 7, give alms of thy substance, and when thou givest alms, let not thine eye be envious, neither turn thy face from any poor. And the face of Yahweh shall not be turned away from thee. If thou hast abundance, give alms accordingly. If thou have but a little, be not afraid to give according to that little. Come on. So it says, let not thy eye be envious, neither turn thy face from any poor. Come on. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean, oh, well, he's poor because of his particular habit. He's poor because he's on drug. He's poor because he's high off meth. No. Any poor means anybody's condition of poor. Come on. Because who are the poor ones? Israel is the poor ones. Right? We are the minority. We are the poor. We are the minority and we are the poor. Now, of course, this stage is to being poor. Right? We don't really necessarily own anything. We have to go to the white man to pay our bills, to get gasoline. We don't own no banks. Right? We own merely nothing at the least of it. So we as a minority, we are the poor. Right? We are the poor. Whether you the owner of Oasis, whether you Josh Jacobs, whether you somebody that work at McDonald's, whether you struggling to make ends meet, man, we are the poor. So neither turn thy face from any poor, and the face of your house shall not be turned away from thee. If thou hast abundance, give alms accordingly. All right. So we see a lot of the times that the people with the most abundance, they don't give at all. And if thou have but a little, the people who have the least amount, they don't even be afraid to give according to that little. Right? It's almost like you have to be selfish to make it out there. Because the people who are blessed with abundance, right? Whether they blessed with abundance of the Most High or they blessed with the abundance of Satan. Because people forget that Satan can bless you as well. They don't give accordingly to their alms. So we're going to continue going down to verse 16 and verse 17. Verse 16 says, give of thy bread to the hungry, and of thy garments to them that are naked. And according to thy abundance, give alms. And let not thy eye be envious when thou givest alms. Pour out thy bread on the burial of the just, but give nothing to the wicked. So it says, and of thy garments to them that are naked. Right? Clothe your poor, clothe your neighbors, man. Clothe that poor person on the street, man. Conversate with these people. Ask them questions. Quit looking down on these homeless people like they are less than you. Because that could easily be you. Right? Whether the Most High leads you over to a reprobate mindset and you struggling out on the street, right? Or you may be going through your wilderness. That can easily be you, man. We're all poor. Of course, there's levels to being poor, but we own nothing in this world. We own absolutely nothing in this world. So don't be envious. Don't allow your eye to be envious. Right? If you're gonna give in the kindness of your heart. Don't be like, look at this dude, man. That's sad, bro. I'm gonna give him a $5 bill, bro. Like, get your life together, bro. Man, you don't know what people go through, and that can easily be you. That can easily be you. Pour out thy bread on the burial of the just. So find who's the just. Once again, if you know of these people around your city, you're familiar with these people. Oh, I'm not gonna give that person money. No, they off the heezy. They off the hizzle for shizzle, man. I'm not giving that person particular money, right? A lot of these times, man, when you talk to these people, when you conversate with these people, man, you can build a bond with a poor man. There ain't nothing wrong with that. Quit looking down on them like they spittle or something. All right? It's ironic to me how, you know, so-called black man, he would look down on another black man that may be strung out on the street or may be poor and call him a broke nigga. Right? They look down more on their people that may be poor than your close neighborhood white man. That's folly. Right? So pour out thy bread on the burial of the just, but give nothing to the wicked. Right? Because you're just adding on to that addiction, right? To that alcoholism, right? To whatever he's snorting up his nose, or whatever unprofitable, what is it called? Unprofitable payment he may do with that money. So we're gonna go to. I was gonna also go to Matthew 6:1. The importance of alms. What does it mean to give alms, and who to give alms to? All right, we need to renew our minds as to who we're giving things to, and be careful as well. This is Matthew chapter 6, verse 1 through 4. Take heed that ye do not. Take heed that ye do not your alms before men, to be seen of them. Otherwise ye have no reward of your Father which is in heaven. Therefore, when thou doest thine alms, do not sound a trumpet before thee, as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and in the streets, that they may have glory of men. Verily I say unto you, they have the reward. But when thou doest alms, let not thy left hand know what thy right hand doeth, that thine alms may be in secret, and that thy Father which seeth in secret himself shall reward thee openly. Right? So you should be open to give alms to the righteous, to the just poor man, but not to the wicked. All right? And you should also give alms in secret. You shouldn't be broadcasting what you're giving. Right? Especially the ones that's on the street that you're giving to. I mean, what is the reason of you taking a picture, making a video, and showing your good deeds to man? What is man going to do for you? Right? Do it in secret so the Most High most definitely knows that you're doing this out of the kindness of your heart. And you are going to be rewarded tremendously, way more than what the man is going to give you. Way more than what man is going to give you. Right? Like you'll see like a lot of these celebrities, you know, they'll have somebody record. Hey, if I was a celebrity, I'm like, hey man, do not record me, please don't. You know, sometimes it may still even get out, more than likely. But I know if it was me, I say, hey man, do not record me giving these particular people things. Every holiday season, you heard Kodak Black give quadrillion thousand turkeys to Section 80 families, whatever it may be. You know what I'm saying? Future is giving out Santa socks. Just folliness, man. Right? They're giving, right? They're giving out of kindness in their heart, but they wasn't raised in the admonition of the Lord on how to give alms properly. First of all, they're broadcasting it. Second of all, they're giving wickedly. Right? Also, another thing, in my city, you got my Uncle Todd. Gave all that money to, which I believe was the Black Wall Street survivors, right? He broadcasted that, man. Once again, that's a lot of money that he gave to those survivors. It's not like it wouldn't never been broadcasted. But for his sake, he should have did what? He should have did Matthew 6:4. That thine alms may be in secret, and thy father which seeth in secret himself shall reward thee openly. Right? So him doing that could have built up his fan base. Could have been like, man, Michael Todd is really a great man. Like, that is the most amazing thing you can do for those people. Building his audience, making people feel like he's a great person. And all of a sudden, people are not even getting edified on the word through themselves, through praying and fasting, or getting edified through the truth on the true gospel. But instead, they using idol worship to idolize Michael Todd. They do it with Kodak Black. They may do it with Drake. They may do it with Herbo. So do not let what your left hand know what thy right hand doeth. So we're going to also go to Luke 14:12. Luke chapter 14 and verse 12. And it says, then said he also to him that bade him, when thou makest a dinner or a supper, call not thy friends, nor thy brethren, neither thy kinsmen, nor thy rich neighbors, lest they also bid thee again, and thy recompense be made thee. But when thou makest a feast, call the poor, the maimed, the lame, the blind, and thou shalt be blessed, for they cannot recompense thee, for thou shalt be recompensed at the resurrection of the just. Right? So you will receive your reward. This is another example of you will receive your reward at the resurrection of your just. Right? That's a way better reward than any man can give you. $5 billion is no better than a resurrection of the just. Right? That's the ultimate. That's the big banger right there. That's what you want to strive for. That's what you want to get for you true believers. All praises. Right? So do not call of your friend that's going to reward you back. Right? We do that all the time. Oh, I'm going to have to give a present for her. She gave a present for me. Knowing damn well that sister got money. I'm going to give my bro this, bro. Knowing damn well that brother got money. You know he's going to give you something back, man. Y'all friends. Y'all been friends forever, man. Give to the poor, man. The people that you know damn well is not going to give you anything back. Not because they want, but because they don't have the ability to give you anything back. And do not allow your eyes to be envious when you do it. Make sure it's of your pure heart and in secret. Hide if you need to. Take that extra, I'm sorry, but hide if you need to. To make sure you're showing the Most High, hey, the Most High, I'm trying to do this good deed. I want to help the betterment of the house of Israel. I want to help the poor. I want to STMH. I want to satisfy the Most High. For your resurrection shall be of the just. All right. I'm gonna show you a few accounts on alms from saints in the word. All right. Mainly in Job. They got missed them in Psalms. Salaki, let me go to Esther 9:22, the Feast of Purim. Esther 9:22. I'll keep on skipping it. What was it? God. Highlight that. And it says, as the days wherein the Jews rested from their enemies, and the month which was turned into them from sorrow to joy, and from mourning to a good day, that they should make them days of feasting and joy, and of sending portions of one another and gifts to the poor. That's another account on giving gifts to the poor, on giving alms, doing good deeds, celebrating and giving good deeds. It's not grievous to give good deeds. All right. This is a holy day when you do this particular things. All right. So the Most High, He admires when you do those things. Let me get that in also in Job 29 and 12. Job 29 and verse 12. Right, this is Job talking about his good deeds, and we know that Job was blameless, looked upon as blameless from the Most High, and a righteous servant. We're going to go Job 29, verse 12 through 16. Because I delivered the poor that cried, and the fatherless, and him that had none to help him. The blessing of him that was ready to perish came upon me, and I caused the widow heart to sing for joy. I put on righteousness, and it clothed me. My judgment was as a robe and a diadem. I was eyes to the blind, and feet was I to the lame. I was a father to the poor, and I caused which I knew not, I searched out. We're also going to go to Job 30 and 25. Right, this is Job speaking. Did not I weep for him that was in trouble? Was not my soul grieved for the poor? All right. Was not my soul grieved for the poor? Job 31 and 19. If I have seen any perish for want of clothing, or any poor without covering. Right? So clothe and feed the poor in secret, and find the righteous poor man. Right? Doesn't always have to be on the streets, because I know it may be typically hard. But there's somewhere out there, I guarantee you. Right? I guarantee you that. Let me also get Acts 10 and 31. Right, this is Cornelius. And it said, Cornelius, thy prayer is heard, and thy alms are had in remembrance in the sight of the Most High. Thy prayer is heard, and thine alms are had in remembrance in the sight of the Most High. Right? It's in the sight of the Most High. It's not in the sight of man. Right? They are had in the remembrance in the sight of the Most High. So the Most High remember these things that you didn't publicize of what you was doing. The Most High remember when you was trying to find the just, righteous poor man to give alms to clothe, without having your eyes to be envious, right? Without being double-minded, without looking for it back, right? Although we may not have the land rest that we may follow here, but you may not, when we want things, we want to see if we want it back, right? So, and thine alms are had in the remembrance in the sight of the Most High, and He gonna recompense that to the resurrection of the just. We also get, what was it at? Salakia. What was it? Tobit. No, it was in Psalms.